Loneliness is not a feeling. It's a biological alarm. The same way hunger tells you your body needs food, loneliness tells your brain you're in danger. And when that alarm stays on too long, it doesn't just make you feel sad. It physically rewires your brain. It shrinks it. It inflames it. It makes you worse at being around people, which makes you lonelier. Today, we're breaking down exactly what loneliness does to your brain and why it's more dangerous than most people realize. 1. Your brain treats loneliness like physical danger. For most of human history, being alone meant death. So evolution built a system to make isolation feel unbearable, the same way it made hunger feel unbearable. Loneliness activates the same threat detection network as physical pain. Neuroscientist Naomi Eisenberger found that social rejection lights up the anterior cingulate cortex, the same region that activates when you break a bone. Your brain isn't being dramatic, it is registering loneliness as an injury. 2. Loneliness inflames your entire body, not just your mood. Chronic loneliness raises cortisol and triggers a pro-inflammatory immune response. Researcher John Cacioppo found that lonely people show elevated inflammatory markers like IL-6 and CRP, linked to heart disease, diabetes, and accelerated aging. A major meta-analysis found chronic loneliness increases the risk of early death by roughly the same amount as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Loneliness doesn't just live in your head, it lives in your bloodstream. 3. Loneliness physically shrinks parts of your brain. Brain imaging shows chronic loneliness is associated with reduced gray matter volume in regions responsible for emotional regulation and social processing. The hippocampus is especially vulnerable. Studies show measurable shrinkage, the same kind seen in early cognitive decline. Loneliness has been linked to a 40% increased risk of dementia. Not because lonely people are unlucky, because social interaction is one of the most demanding cognitive workouts your brain ever gets, and without it, neural pathways go unused. 4. Loneliness makes your brain see threats that aren't there. Cacioppo's research found lonely people's brains become hypervigilant to social threats. A neutral expression gets misread as disapproval. A delayed text gets misread as someone pulling away. This isn't paranoia, it's a survival adaptation. But the side effect is brutal. You become more withdrawn, more guarded, and more difficult to connect with at the exact moment you need connection most. 5. Loneliness wrecks your sleep, even if you don't notice. UCLA researchers found lonely people experience more fragmented sleep, even sleeping the same number of hours. Without a social safety net, your ancestral brain stays partially on alert through the night. Poor sleep worsens mood, worsens cognition, and worsens loneliness, feeding the same cycle again. 6. Why loneliness becomes a loop that's hard to escape. Loneliness raises cortisol and inflammation. Inflammation shrinks brain regions tied to connection. Your brain becomes hypervigilant to rejection, making you withdraw further. Withdrawal disrupts sleep. Poor sleep worsens your ability to connect, deepening the loneliness and restarting the loop. This is why loneliness rarely fixes itself. It's not a lack of willpower, it's a closed biological system, and closed systems need an outside force to break them open. 7. The loop can be broken, but not the way most people try. Most people force themselves into more social situations. But research shows quality matters far more than quantity. A 2018 study found one high-quality conversation, where you feel genuinely seen, measurably lowers cortisol within hours. You don't need 100 connections, you need 1 or 2 that feel real. The harder part is interrupting the hypervigilance. Therapists call this reappraisal, consciously asking, is this actually rejection, or is this just my loneliness talking? That single question asked consistently is one of the most effective tools researchers have found for breaking the cycle. If you've been feeling lonely, understand this. Your brain is not malfunctioning. It is running an ancient survival program exactly as designed. The exhaustion, the oversensitivity, the withdrawal, none of that is weakness. It's your biology screaming for the one thing humans have always needed to survive: each other. You don't need to fix yourself. You need to find your way back to one real connection and let your biology do the rest. If you know someone who's been isolating themselves lately, don't send them a meme. Send them this video. Or better yet, send them a text right now. Subscribe next week. Why some people feel lonely even in a room full of people and what that actually means. See you there.